Put on recording. Name of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Very important, we need to record this one because we put in the website, so it doesn't want any noise. Okay? If you talk, what can happen to your voice? Come here. Right, today we talk about Saint Athanasius. Who know anything about Saint Athanasius? Who know anything about Saint Athanasius? Yes, what you know? Saint Athanasius. Athanasius, yes.
He's a saint.
He's a saint, very good. Now, if I say Saint Athanasius, that means he's a saint. Okay. I give you a very important point about him. Why? Because number one, Saint Athanasius for our church, one of the greatest pope ever. Why? Because remember, every time we read the creed, truly we believe in one God. Do you know who wrote this creed? Saint Athanasius. Did you see how important? Every Mass we attend, Abuna have to make sure he reads the absolution and he says for the mouth of Saint Athanasius. And in commemoration of the saint, what we say? We talk about Saint Athanasius, the commemoration of the saint, to show you how important Saint Athanasius. When we're celebrating his feast, we celebrate his feast 15 of this month. When can it be day of 15 of this month? When can it be 15 of this month? Next week. That's right. So this is important for us. So day 15 of May, we always remember Saint Athanasius. Saint Athanasius, was the youngest pope ever to be a pope. Do you know how old when he was a pope?
21.
He was 30 years old, youngest one. Do you know Pope Theodorus, when they ordained him as a pope, how old he was? 60. So to check, it's the double of age of Saint Athanasius. Okay? So he was at 30 years old. How many years did he stay as a pope?
60.
45 years. And he's the second longest pope ever in our Coptic Orthodox Church. How many popes we have in our Coptic Orthodox Church?
119.
118. Very good. 118 pope, he's the second longest one, to show you how. Longest one ever pope was, he done 52 years. Okay?
118.
Pope Theodorus, number 118. Saint Jerome, one of the saints of the church, he said, all the world, he cannot be Jehovah's Witness unless Saint Athanasius came. And when Saint Athanasius came, he changed all this one, he makes people back to the true faith, the Orthodoxy faith, or come to Catholic faith, the normal good faith. Alright? What's the meaning of Athanasius? What's the meaning of the name of Saint Athanasius? This is a Greek word. Greek word we call the eternal. Just come closer. We call it the eternal, or the one he cannot die. That's the meaning of his name, Saint Athanasius. It's a Greek word. We call it the eternal, or the one he cannot die. How his life starts? In 269, in year 269, Saint Athanasius born in very small city next to Alexandria. His parents, yeah, look, your family very lucky now. In parents, some of the scholars, they said, in that time they wasn't believing God, they begging, and some scholars, they said, no, shouldn't be begging, because what happened, how they found Saint Athanasius? One day, Pope Alexandrus, in his cell, he was looking through the window, he found a person, when he looked through his window, he found a person on the beach, take another person and they start to baptize him exactly like the priest when he baptized someone. You see when the priest baptized someone 3 times? He found St. Athanasius is still a young person, and he baptized his friend, and they read all the reading of the baptism. So Bob Alexander said, this very intelligent boy, come here to me. When this person come to him, he asked him, what's your name? He told him, my name is St. Athanasius.
All right, just one second. Everyone?
He said, my name is St. Athanasius. He told him which school he go. He said, I'm not much school now. He said, all right, come, I put you in our Coptic school, theological school. After he found him very intelligent, he ordained him as a deacon, who was very young. He put him 17, 18 or 19 years old. He was a full deacon, and he made him his secretary. So this is the Pope number 19, and St. Athanasius was the deacon, and he was his right hand as his right hand and a full deacon. 1 year he went and stayed with St. Anthony in his cell. He was educated under his monasticism for how many years? They said for 3 years. So he was learning in that time theology and learning how to be a monk in that time. And a lot of people, they said the theology of St. Athanasius, he take it from St. Anthony. So he stayed with St. Anthony for 3 years. He teach him everything. St. Athanasius back again in Alexandria. In that time, one priest, his name Arius. This priest from Alexandria, origin he was from the city called Libya, border of Egypt, and this was very sneaky priest. He was teaching something very dangerous. He said, our God the Father is not equal to our God the Son. There was a time the Father before the Son. And some people, very simple, they start to follow him. Bob Alexandrus, he wasn't happy at all. He told St. Athanasius, this man is very dangerous, we need to answer him. Later on, this teaching of this priest started to go everywhere. So the Coptic Orthodox Church was worried from this priest. So what they done a council of the church. What means council of the church? Remember, we say the Council of Nicaea. How many people attend in Council of Nicaea? Anyone who hears the mass?
Oh.
How many bishops in Council of Nicaea?
300.
318 of Nicaea. Remember Abuna when he said, but unfortunately it wasn't 318. They put 318 chair. But every time they start to count the people, they found they had 319. The man on the gate, he surprised. He go and count again, he found 319. He looked to the chair, he found 318. So what happened, he know, remember God when he said in his Bible, whatever 2 or 3 people gather on my name, I be in midst. So what they did, they said definitely God was us. They started to encounter the church, put the Bible and the cross presenting God attending with them. So every time they count, they found how many? And how many people invited was 318. To show you, every time we're sitting, talk about God, He in the midst of us, and He can hear us, and He can look to us. They start to ask Arius the priest, what you believe? He said, I believe there was a time God the Father was different than time of God the Son. They excommunicate him from the church. They said that's wrong. And who was standing and answering all this one? In that time was the deacon Athanasius. How old was in that time? Was about 20 years old. Imagine someone young standing and the 318 bishop attending, and he's the one stand and answer. After he wrote it in the books, they call Incarnation of God the Word. This book until now, we use it as a reference to answer the Jehovah's Witness. Because Jehovah's Witness nowadays, they use exactly what this Arius was using. And they say, God, Jesus, He's not a God. Jesus like Archangel Michael. Jesus not a God because Jesus, He was coming in the body and He was eating and drinking like us, normal water and all this one. How can God incarnate to be like us? So that's why they follow Arius. That's why the church don't like any Jehovah's Witness. And if they come to knock your home door and they tell you we talk about God, don't open, don't talk to them, because they make you confused. They have different Bibles than our Bible, and they make you confused. So what happened after this Pope Alexander passed away? They ordained Saint Athanasius to be next Pope, Pope number 20, who was the Pope number 20. When he started to be a Pope number 20, the people from following his Arius, the priest, they was very upset from him. They started to call for the governor to tell him Saint Athanasius did and did and did. He didn't do anything. So they make a council against Saint Athanasius. One of the council, one lady, evil lady, she said, Saint Athanasius, he done the sin with me in the council and all bishops attend. Imagine how she can say this about one pope. One of his Saint Athanasius monks stand up and tell, I am the one did this to you. I said, yes, you are Saint Athanasius. And the end of time, this man, the monk, is named Saint Timothy. And everyone started laughing, and they know this lady was a liar, and they cast her out, kick her out. You a liar, don't come again. To show you how evil these people want to Saint Athanasius to do anything, to witness falsely against him. Another one stand, he said, Saint Athanasius, he cut the hand of one of the bishops, and they got a hand from grave for one reason to die, and he did the hand, Saint Athanasius cut it. The bishop was attending and said, these people liar, Saint Athanasius didn't do anything. And they started to accuse him falsely, until last one he said, Saint Athanasius, he said, we're not going to import anymore to Rome wheat. Wheat in that time like petrol to import it to America. Imagine all Arabs say we're not going to import petrol to America. America gets very angry. So this person, he said, Saint Athanasius said, we're not going to import any wheat to Rome. The government was very angry when he heard this, and they exiled Saint Athanasius out of his throne to call a city called Triumph in France. For how many? It's about more than 2 years. When Saint Athanasius went there, all the people of Triumph, France, they started to sit with him. And they told him, you coming from Egypt. Egypt in that time, in the 3rd century and 4th century, was the first country around the world to give the monasticism. We the first people around the whole world to establish something called monk, and the order of the monk, what you do in your cell and your teaching. So Saint Athanasius, they start to talk to them about Saint Anthony. They start to tell him, tell us more about Saint Anthony. He started to teach them what Saint Anthony do, how Saint Anthony live, and after this long time, he starts to write for them book very famous they call Vita Anthony in Latin. That means the life of Saint Anthony. And he teaches them how to be a monk, and he established the monasticism in the France. So any monk coming from France, from where he learned, from Saint Anthony, from what teaching? From the teaching of Saint Athanasius when he went and teaches them about Saint Anthony and the Vita Anthony. If you search the internet, you found a very important book. We use it until now. After a little while, Saint Athanasius back again. After Saint Athanasius back again, Saint Athanasius, by the way, they exiled him 5 times from his throne. Number 6 people, they said, enough, it's enough. If you want to exile him, we all the Copts will die, but Saint Athanasius is not going to exile. After this one, Saint Athanasius come back, and after he come back for a little while, they accused him falsely, and the government cast him away again. Because people, all these people following Arius. Arius, he's the Harris. Heretic. What this means? He started teaching people by song. Remember, we have hymns here. In the hymns, like hymns of resurrection. We say in the morning, Samir, the Magdalene, so Jesus. He started teaching people, God the Father, He's not equal to God the Son. And the people simple, they start learning this teaching. So a lot of people, so he started getting a lot of followers. So when Saint Athanasius come and start to teach his people, these people get angry, so can be against Saint Athanasius again. One day he went to the governor ride his horse in Rome. Saint Athanasius grabbed the horse from his neck and tell him, listen. He said, who are you? He take his veil off and tell him, I'm Athanasius. You have 2 ways, bring me back to my throne or let me martyr like a saint. He said, all right. He put him in the small boat, without food, without water, without anything, and let him float in the water. Take how many days? 3 days they found him, this boat going, until they arrived to Alexandria. People saw Saint Athanasius coming by boat. There was very big celebration, and they mentioned this day on the synectorium of the church about this miracle, of the miracle of this until now. After this time, they tried to exile him again. What happened? Saint Athanasius, he started escape. He started escape about 3 to 6 years, from country to country, city to city, because they want to arrest him, to kill him, and the people believers, they said, if they kill you, we can have a big war between us and these people. Please escape. One day, Saint Athanasius was his from boat, go to from river to another side. The governor and his people looking for him, and they tell him face to face, do you know where Saint Athanasius? He said, he's not far from you. If you speed little bit, you will find him. And he was Saint Athanasius. And they tried to go. He didn't like, because he said, he's not far from you, but speed little bit, you can find him. They started speed, and Saint Athanasius flee to another monastery. His life was a lot of suffering. Last exile was when he was 76 years old. In that time, they wanted him to take him out of the church. People, they said, we commit, all of us, we shed our blood for the name of God, and you not can take Saint Athanasius from our church. So the government, he can't do anything. After this, he stayed a little bit back, peaceful time. He passed away when he was about 75 years old. After 1,600 years, on the same of the time, 15th of May, the Holiness Pope Shinoda, the late one, he went to Rome, and he bring his relics to Egypt, and under the cathedral, if you go, you will visit his relics. What they said about Saint Athanasius, they said, if you hear any word to Saint Athanasius, and you not have pen, write it with your blood. If you not have paper, write it in your clothes. To show you how every word Saint Athanasius was saying was very important. He's the one who done the creed, and any Christian church around all the world, every Mass, they have to mention the creed like us. How many times we mention the creed in the Mass? At least twice. At least twice. And his name mentioned, in the commemoration, his name mentioned on the absolution. Okay? Another word very important say about Saint Athanasius, they called him Athanasius contra la monde. What's the contra la monde? This is the Latin word. Athanasius against the world. They tell him, Athanasius, all the world, they cannot be converted to be like Arius. He said, and I am with the grace of God against the world. So they call him Athanasius contra la monde. What the church calls Saint Athanasius? Athanasius there? Contra la monde, no, apostolic. That's right? Saint Athanasius apostolic. That's right? Why they call him apostolic? He's not apostle, but because the suffering and what he done to the church, they graded him like the apostle of our church, exactly. Because he suffered out. He didn't die as a martyr, but every day in his life was like martyr. Exiled him 5 original time, and the number 6 they exiled him, but they didn't do it. What else? It's big story about him. But what the conclusion we learn from his story is a lot of people can come to talk to you about different. What's the difference between us and the Catholic? Why we're not gonna marry from Catholic? Why we not have Holy Communion from Catholic? What's the difference between us and the Anglican Church? What's the difference between us and the Jehovah's Witness? You can go to the uni, you can work with some people, different faith, different belief. Always come to your church and ask. All what you're seeing, all recent religion, all these heresies happened before. But these people coming in new shape, like we saw the Bible of Judas, we saw the Gospel of Judas, we saw the Gospel of Barnabas, we saw all this one. Always come back to your church, ask your servant, ask your confession father. Don't take a verse, someone tell you a verse and go home and you're happy you discover something. All this, the devil repeated and repeated and repeated again with new shape and different shape. Yes, John?
All my friends think now the Egyptian pyramids, he thinks the Egyptians were working with aliens.
That's unfortunately one of the program come in the TV say something like this. The Egyptians very smart. How they build the pyramids, just explain to them, like you get two plates of glass and put on top of each other. When you put two plates of glass on top of each other, the air coming out, that's how they stick together. And they was putting the mountain of sand. They do first level and they put more sand. They do second level, put more sand. Third level, fourth level. And after they took all the sand out, I went inside the pyramid myself. Okay, you allowed to go. Now they close it. Now they close it. In my time when I was in Cairo, me and the Imam, my wife, we went inside. But when you walk inside, not much breeze. That's why they start to close.
What is inside?
Inside, you can found that some of the was the room of the king, because that was the king. After he passed away, they made the king house in that time. But all this, like you see every day, every day they have a new idea. But this is what happened in Egypt. And they found, I went to one of the Luxor and this one, they call the Valley of the King. Until now, you can see the color on the tomb.
Yes.
Until now, look how many years.
And I touched it.
Yeah. And you can, but not allowed to take photo. You can buy as a postcard. But until now, you found the color. They used to use it in thousands and thousands of years. Egyptian in that time is very smart. Until now, they discover a first brain surgery, and they found the tool. And the one the Time magazine was right about, they would empty the brain through the nose to make it as a mummy. They was very intelligent. I went to one of the museum, the room of second Ramses. In his birthday, only once a year, the sun can lighting in his room, and he found the sun in his face. Only one day a year in his birthday. You found all the science people coming, take photo and video to watch what happens. They're very intelligent, so don't hear too much. But what we talk about Saint Athanasius, we need to call and talk about Saint Athanasius better. Don't worry about the old Egyptian. Saint Athanasius, his name, Greek name. What's the meaning of his name? The eternal, the one he never died. And actually his name never died, his name is very famous. If you look to Encyclopedia of Nicene and Post-Nicene and the Anti-Nicene Father, when you search at home, or maybe you found at home, one of big volume about what Saint Athanasius tried, and the books of Saint Athanasius, Incarnation of the Word, one very important, and number 2, Vita Anthony, another book is very important he wrote. All right, how many years Saint Athanasius the Pope?
60?
No.
75.
No. He died 75. 45 years. And how old when he was a Pope?
75.
75.
Very young. Very young.
Divide 75 from 45. How many years? 30 years. When he was a Pope, he was 30 years old. And which number of the Pope? Saint Athanasius? 20. Who's the Pope before him? Pope Alexander, number 19. And the Pope after? No. Okay, the Pope before, who's the Pope number 17? Saint Peter last martyr, number 17. Pope number 17. صح كده؟ هي خدم الشارع. 19 Pope Alexander, 20 Pope Athanasius. And what's the longest Pope in Alexandria? How many years? 52. And second longest one was Pope 45, Pope Athanasius. What we call Saint Athanasius? What they call him in Latin word?
The eternal.
The eternal, that's Greek. Contra Lamont. Athanasius again is the world. Contra Lamont. Lamont, that's in Greek word. Latin word that means the world. Okay, what else we learn today? How many times they exiled him? 5. And number 6, they didn't do it because the people, they said we cannot. What's the priest whose name? The one they're using Arius, the Jehovah Witness using his teaching now. Any question before we finish? Which day we celebrate Saint Athanasius? 15th of May. 15th of May. Yes.
At my house, you find a lot of those people that come and then they just randomly knock on your door, and then they'll say, "Oh, we're from religious for the Jehovah's people, blah, 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 something, something, something. I don't really pay attention, but we usually say, sorry, this is our belief, and that we won't believe it that way, and we just close the door and say bye.
I got them one day, they come my home, and they knock the door. One day they come, and by the way, they have a map for all the streets. And if they found you very smart and know your Bible, they're not going to come again. If they found you doubt about your belief, they send another one and another one. And actually, they get paid to go to knock the door from door. And you found always someone, he's a teacher, and there's someone next to him, he just tried to learn.
Yes.
Okay, Amoros, he's very good with the story of Saint Athanasius. He's one of the best. He likes Saint Athanasius like me.
Yes.
Amoros, he's dead. Let him continue with you at home with the story. We finished Saint Athanasius, Amoros. Beautiful story. Yes, what another question? Quick. Last question.
I know what means.
Jehovah Witness.
Why is it called the witness?
Witness, they send Jehovah, that means God.
Yeah.
Witness, that means they witness to God.
That's
they
right.
want everyone know about Jehovah, the old God in Old Testament.
But they didn't even witness God. So
They didn't witness Jehovah. By the way, Jehovah Witness, if you found one of their magazine, they print it in something called Watchtower. They have a big building in America, and this is a very, very rich people, Jewish people, and they're printing for 15, 16 million copy, and they have about 250 language, their magazine be print. You found them in the city, standing in the street, and give everyone
At
copy.
the train station.
And the train station, in Liverpool, they get people, and they have a look to the number, and always they found Watchtower. This is a big organization, Watchtower. That's their one, and they have another organization, I can't remember the name, but they're very popular. But end of the story, if someone, St. John, he said, if someone, angel even come, and they try to teach you something like different than the church teach you, don't listen. Don't listen.
And ask the church questions. So you
Yes.
know the truth.
You know the truth. And they're very smart. I know one guy is my friend. He was playing guitar, and they took him to teach him guitar for 2 years. And every time after the lessons, they start to talk to him about Jehovah Witness, They gave them a course 2 years, and after someone stay with them 2 years, very hard to come back. They brainwash him. Very hard. We need to take last question because we're already behind. We need to catch up with Mother Day present. Yes.
This isn't exactly the question. I don't know who told me this. Was, you know how people come around their house and they're like, oh, God is love and all this, and they teach you and blah, blah, blah. I think it was like something like the right witness. So there was some person in like little Sunday school, like little girl, and then they went to her house and she opened the door and they're like, God is love. And then she was like, well, God loves me more than you. And she closed the door.
All right. Thank you very much for having me today. Please pray for me.
Thank you, Uncle Ehab.
Thank you very much.